freedom is the type or the kind of freedom which enables the media users, or rather the people who use the internet, to have their own free space where they can express their views without being hindered.
Do you think that exists in Zambia?
Media freedom exists in Zambia. It does exist, but there are still those situations whereby a person doesn't really have that much freedom that they deserve. Can
you clarify on that?
In most situations, it's due to politics. You find that people are politicizing what someone will say, what a journalist will say. If a journalist is covering up a story which is going to expose the other people who are involved in fraud and so forth, you find that that person will be put under custody. So in that way, they are hindering their freedom.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Do you think the mainstream media, such as the TV, the radio, the newspapers, are doing enough to cover voices that are coming from the communities, or are coming from the rural communities, as well as the differently abled?
I wouldn't say they are doing enough, but I'll say they are doing something. But is that something good enough? It's very difficult. For instance, in rural areas, it's not everyone that has access to a TV, to a radio, or to phones. So you find that a lot of people lack information in many areas.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. In your view also, how do you think people are free to express their grievances regarding government issues without fearing the aftermath results, the aftermath of their expressions?
Some people are free. It depends with how you take it yourself, personally. You find that some people take advantage of the same media freedom that I'm talking about. They say more than they're supposed to say. They go beyond, they exaggerate things. But some people, you find that they're very scared, they're very afraid to express their opinions and views over the politicians, or even the same people who are in government. They are afraid. Reason being, they are afraid of being behind bars.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the challenges that are hindering media freedom in Zambia. Would you know any so far?
Challenges that are hindering media freedom in Zambia. I think lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness.
Yes. Some people don't know that there's this media freedom. They don't know to say a person is free to voice out, a person is free to raise various issues concerning their well-being, even the well-being of the nation. So they don't have that information about the same media freedom.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about freedom of expression. We talked about media freedom, now freedom of expression, of which we covered a little bit on the previous 6 questions that we had. What are some of the common challenges to media freedom in Zambia? What are some of the common challenges to media freedom in Zambia, based on your experience as a person? What have you faced operating on social media, expressing your views on TV, on radio?
Of course, there are those situations whereby you ask yourself, if I post this, or if I say this, what are the reactions that are going to come out from the people, from the government? Some issues are very sensitive, and let me just say, on my own view, my own personal view, I think there's that fear that comes about to say, if I say something, or if I do this, they might, or rather the government or other people, they might react in a very negative way towards what I have put across. So there are those situations.
Okay. Then coming to digital rights, the former president then did enact the Cybersecurity Act. How do you feel this enactment, the Cybersecurity Act, which was intended to protect media rights, is so far affecting or impacting on digital rights?
Personally, I feel quite alright. The act, it's still there, but I don't think the implementation of the act is effective. You find that a lot of people will post even a simple picture. The views, or rather the comments that are going to be, based on that same picture, are going to affect that person who has posted that picture negatively. And nothing is done, or rather, those people who are making other people to become victims are not followed up.
Okay.
So I think the protection there is a bit hindered. I don't know what is causing that, but yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that. Do you think the current law is enough to protect journalists and media owners in Zambia?
It's not enough.
Would you clarify on that?
I feel they are hindered in some ways, because you find that someone is actually voicing out the truth, making people to be aware of what is happening around. But you find that, especially politicians, they politicize everything. If they're exposed, they'll follow the journalists that created that story. Even if there is proof, they'll still find a way to actually even shut down that media house, which is not supposed to be the case. So I feel the policy, or the law?
Yes, so which is the law?
Yes, the law is not actually being.
It's not enough.
It's not enough, and the implementation of the law, again, they are implementing the law quite alright, but it's also not enough.
Yeah.